Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So we are having a very crucial case of Microsoft today. One of the very crucial issues of this industry is it is very this respect innovation but not tradition. And as we all know, this is a very rapidly changing industry. In this industry, we have to run or ruin. Either we have to run with the pace, we have to be dynamic in innovations, or if we try to follow tradition, we have to just ruin. And one of the very crucial features of this industry is it's an encompassing industry. When some decades back, PC came to the atmosphere first, PC came to the spotlight first, it was not as dominant as it is today. In the long run, PC dominated the industry. PC encompassed all of our lives. It's not for only corporate or only a group of people. PC is for everybody today. Similarly, smartphone industry, technological industry, one day smartphone is not for everyone today, but we forecast that as the technological trend suggests, in the longer run, smartphone will be for everyone. So now, on the next slide, if we go for the company background, what the company suggests us, Microsoft, they are leader in softwares. When we talk about Windows operating system, Windows is very dominant. When we talk of word processing softwares, Microsoft Word is almost synonymous. When you talk of presentation softwares, it's the first name that comes to us is PowerPoint. When you talk of spreadsheet, the first name comes to us is Excel. Similarly, when you call of video conferencing, Skype is one of the very first names that comes to us. Women in the areas they dominate, they are the leader. They are the unprecedented leader, Microsoft, they dominate. And in case of Nokia, the just acquired company of Microsoft, they are very dominant in Southeast Asian market, at least ahead of the advent of smartphone. And yet, in the rural South Asian markets, Nokia is still a very popular name to the people there. And it has another distinctive advantage of cost leadership. Nokia reduces its cost. Nokia As and Nokia Lumi are very popular services. So what these are the background of today's case. So what are the core issues to deal with? Let's go to the core issues first. First of all, Microsoft is so far positioned as a software company, and it was a software company. Mainly it dealt with software and other expense. But now it's switching its priority. Today it is going to be recognized as device and service company. And by device, they are primarily focused on mobile devices apart from others. And by service, cloud is one of their core services they have to focus on apart from others. So the crucial question here, how is about the integration and ecosystem? How are they going to build the integration and ecosystem of all their modified strategy? And if we go on to the next issue, we will find that there is a vendor-competitor dilemma. See, if XY is a random company, when they are building, so for example, they are assembling laptops, they are licensing Windows, they are licensing the operating system from Microsoft and building their laptops. And when they are building smartphones, they are having Android from Google and building smartphones. But here is the dilemma: when they are going to sell smartphone, Microsoft services or devices that they are going to build devices in the future, they are going to compete them. So how are they going to deal with these issues? So I have discussed two issues. Here comes a third issue, and here I invite my group member Shihab Mahmood to continue. Thank you.
The third issue that we have is reorganizing Microsoft and Nokia's cultural thing. So when Microsoft acquired Nokia, there is some cultural problems, and because the both companies are very different in cultural aspects, because one is US based and another one is Finland based. And secondly, there is uncertainty within Nokia's employees how they will be merging with Microsoft and how they will communicate, and the total vision of Microsoft and Nokia is very different, because Nokia is a company that produces devices, hardware company, and where Microsoft is a software based company. So their culture is very different. So how we are going to work together, that is our target. So next slide please. So what is strategy one? The strategy one that we are suggesting in the short run is Android compatibility in mobile phones. Currently, Windows mobile phones only support Microsoft operating system, right? But we are saying that why leave the huge market of Android phones? So make Windows mobile phone, that means Nokia, Android compatible, and sell Microsoft Office 360 Microsoft Office in Android devices. So make money by selling Microsoft software in Nokia Android-based phone. And however, in the long run, we will also be providing Nokia phones with Windows operating system, and will be giving Microsoft 360 free of cost. Whereas in Android run mobile phones of Nokia, we will sell them. So and moreover, in Nokia's smartphones, where we will be selling Microsoft operating system, will also provide free Office and free drive of 100 gigabytes. So this will attract people to buy Nokia devices of Microsoft OS rather than Android. But we will also be selling Android Microsoft 360. Next slide, please. We will be trying to integrate all the devices that Microsoft currently is producing, like tablet, laptop, mobile, and Xbox. How we will be doing this? For example, we can use mobile phones or laptops as a second screen to play Xbox games. Suppose a friend of mine, a group of friends of mine came in my house and I don't have enough controller. So how do you play with them? Or my friend is on the go in a train. So how will I play Xbox? I am playing Xbox in my home and he is traveling. So we can play together on the go using Microsoft Nokia mobile phones and my laptop or tablet through internet. And we will create similar interfaces between all the things so that people can understand and transfer things between them.
So the next issue we are going to talk about is how we are going to be geographically segmenting the products that we want to sell. So first of all, the urban market that we are considering, say the likes of Hong Kong, the urban market of India, the urban market of China, it's already saturated. People already have smartphones in their with them. They already bought them. And it's most likely to be an iPhone or an Android-based phone, right? So in these cases, what we are trying to sell is basically what he has already talked about, is basically offering a Nokia phone that is Android-based. However, we are all trying to create a new market, especially in the rural areas of the South Asian market, specifically the likes of the rural markets in Bangladesh, the rural markets in India, where people are not using smartphones at this point in time. What we'll be doing is, and another thing we need to take into account is the fact that these people are Nokia lovers. If you see in Bangladesh, Nokia was the first one to enter, or was one of the first ones to create a market for phones in this emerging market. So people do have an affection towards such a company. So what we'll be doing is basically using that, tapping that already brand value that people in the rural areas have for the likes of Nokia. And this will be the next topic of smartphones. And what we'll be doing is offering this service or offering these phones that will be durable, because they're for usually rural people, and since they won't be able to afford highly priced smartphones, these phones will be lower priced. And we'll be using the same strategy in case of the likes of Europe, North America, South Asia, and other parts or other regions of the world where smartphones aren't that popular yet, and especially focusing in the markets where Nokia does have an edge.
Now I would like to talk about how we are going to solve the cultural difference issues in the integration of Nokia and Microsoft. How do we do it? We can't eradicate the cultural differences because those two companies are fundamentally different. Nokia is a hardware manufacturing company, and Microsoft was a software manufacturing software maker. So how can we solve it? We can bring them together and minimize the culture, make each other know about the others' cultural aspects. If they know about each other, they are more likely to minimize the risk associated with the cultural differences. And how are we going to do it? We will organize a Nokia Microsoft integration conference, a large company conference, and we will the tagline of this conference will be similar to connecting people, like connecting the old giants of technology. And the Nokia, what will be the benefits of this conference? The benefits will be that the Nokia employees will feel more motivated to work with Microsoft. They won't feel inferior. It was publicly showed that it was a takeover. When we will organize this conference, they will feel that they are now a part of the whole the new company, the Microsoft Nokia. And also, the both will know about each other's culture. This will increase their performance. And the theme of the conference can be to promote innovation. As we have already seen, in order to succeed in this market, they need to promote the innovation aspect. And then, next slide please. And in addition to that, to make them more motivated, stock options, we can also relaunch the stock options for everyone, Microsoft employees as well as Nokia employees. What will be the effect? The effect will be Nokia employees will be more confident about their future, uncertainties will reduce, and if they work harder, they will get the benefit through increased stock's price. And we can also predict that the stock price is likely to experience a positive impact, because since the employees will be given stock options, people will see that the company employees are affected by their own individual decisions, and they will feel more safe investing in the new company. And then we have.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so what have we already learned? Here is the last point of our presentation. There was another dilemma: the supply versus competitor. One party is supplying, and how can the same party is competing with us? So we are going to change it. This should not be versus. This should be complement. Supplier and the competitors, we are managing in such a way that these two roles are complementing each other. How? When a laptop assembler or a producer of hardware is licensing Windows from us, is as usual as they used to do. There is no such change. But the change is where they are trading, they are purchasing Windows from us. And they are making device, and in the long run they are competing with our devices. Here, how are we complementing the role? Firstly, if they are trying to build Android compatible devices, we are not saying no. You are okay with Android devices, and we are offering that your devices are compatible with Microsoft Office and such softwares. And we are mainly gaining revenue. In case of Android devices, we are gaining revenue from those compatible softwares. And they can buy Android, but when they will buy Office, the most popular software, when they will use Skype, or when they will use other packages of Microsoft, this is how, like the printer cartridge strategy, we are attracting those Android users to purchase our softwares. And on the other end, when if they are using our operating systems, we are giving so many complementary things, including free Office, Skype space, Skype. So all these things does not make ourselves in a conflicting role, both as a supplier but as the competitor, but more of a complementary role. So if we sum up today's presentation, the first question was about integration and ecosystem development, and the second question was of this vendor versus competitor dilemma. We are solving both this by the strategy of the twofold strategy. First one is making Android OS compatible with our softwares and making them using the printer cartridge strategy, selling those softwares to them. And secondly, when they are buying our operating systems for their devices, we are giving so many complementary things so that it attracts them. And in the long run, although in the short run they must be stuck with Android since this is the market leader, in the long run we may gain more strong base of our customers. And secondly, in case of geographical segmentation, since there is a huge market, especially the rural market, they are yet untouched of the smartphone, but soon it will be flooded as the smartphone revolution has already started. So in the long run, and Nokia has already a very strong brand value there, So we are targeting, by our Nokia brand, we are targeting those non-smartphone rural users who will soon be converted into smartphone users. And how is this idea feasible? Firstly, since the urban users, they are more of a corporate users, and they will definitely need this office. They have to purchase it. They can afford to buy. But the rural users, they can afford to buy much. So when they are getting free, and they are say for example, they are just now they are accustomed with computing systems, it's unlikely that they will just switch to the Android. Windows will be more familiar to them than Android, since they are already accustomed with the computer system. And finally, about the culture system, since Microsoft and Nokia, they have acquiesced, Microsoft's acquisition process of Nokia, we are not making it hostile. Nokia people must not feel they're inferior, as my groupmate has said. We are going through a conference that we are recognizing each values. Microsoft was once the software giant, and Nokia is once the device giant. So this is a convergence. This is not something hostile. So we are trying to promote the friendship of these two organizations, and this is how we are going to solve this case. Thank you, everybody.
So you're done with your presentation? Okay, so now we go on to the Q&A session. We'll be 15 minutes. So please go ahead.
Just want to ask about the how you tackle the difference in cultures amongst the two companies. You mentioned about having, I think, a one-off conference two companies, and also mentioned about offering stock options. I can't really see how these two can actually help in improving or merging the two cultures together. Can you explain a bit more how it can be done?
Okay, so to start with the how we are going to convert these two cultures, firstly, when when Nokia was acquired, the people in Nokia felt insecure. They were jumping jobs, they were switching jobs, they were feeling insecure that how to deal with these changes, the culture changes. So firstly, when under one conference, we are bringing everybody under one umbrella and promoting our same theme, innovation. This is going to help that we are not aliens of two planets. We are on the same path. We are walking on the same path, on the same mission. And we are trying to promote a much more friendly atmosphere. We are working in shoulder. We are working hand in hand, not somebody of alien. This is how by a conference was the big idea. Total plan of promoting and connecting with each other. We are trying to build this culture.
To add to that, the stepping stone in merging the culture is the conference, where we will announce this stock options and how the vision of Microsoft as an innovative company, or Microsoft is trying to be innovative. They are facing problem in innovation, right? So we will try to communicate our values to Nokia employees, and the stock option will increase the motivation of being a part of Microsoft. So they will not feel that they are a part of Nokia only, but also Microsoft as well.
Now, in your presentation, with your strategy, I think it somehow is built on the foundation of the success of Microsoft Office, right? And that, in a way, I think is really the most important part of the whole strategy. But what happens if the competitors, right, come up with similar products, right, which can replace Microsoft Office, and then they can sell it, right, maybe at much lower price, perhaps even free, right? So then in this case, your whole strategy maybe collapse. So what are you going to plan, or what sort of contingency measures do you have?
First of all, since we are, as you have just said, that Office is one of our very crucial factors. The rural people here in Bangladesh and most of the countries, Microsoft is one of the very mostly used operating systems. Office is one of the most used operating systems. Even if a cheaper alternative is there in the market, like there is some open source software like Linux or something like that, but we are not using it since we are not accustomed to it. So at some cases, cost is not the only factor, or how much accustomed I am, that's one of the core reasons. In case of rural area, it's hard to them first acquire one software. So just because another is less costly, and it's hard to switch, because even if they can buy it, they can get very accustomed to it. They are not that tech savvy like urban people. So this is one of our core plans. How are we going to offset the risk? And in case of other contingencies, so this is one of the very core issues we are how to defend it. Most people is already accustomed to the office, so just cost, minimize cost. Even there are free softwares are there, but they are not using it. Apple has tried to promote Keynote, but it has not been able to replace PowerPoint. So this we are not very much concerned that Office can be replaced very easily. But yes, in long run, there can be some slight loopholes. But we do not think that will be a very big threat for us.
Like even the likes of, adding to that, even the likes of Apple did bring, let's say, Keynote as a direct competitor for PowerPoint. But as we already know that Microsoft Office has been adapted by Apple themselves, even having similar products of their own. So that that is a sign of the fact that even if people are using the likes of the likes of iPad or MacBooks, they still need PowerPoint or Office because it's that good, and they're so used to it. So even if they switch to different operating systems, they still tend to stick to the original Office because it's so much easier. And people in these cases do not want to switch. And if we are able to offer consistently, like if we are able to offer in terms of value and quality when it comes to Office consistently, I don't think this will be an issue.
When we're saying that immune to substitutability, so how we are immune to substitutability? Because Microsoft Office is, people are using Microsoft Office in offices, in homes, everywhere, in small businesses. Excel is the main accounting software, we can say, or Outlook. So this sort of integration, this sort of product line, none of the competitors have. And if they want to develop, it will take a huge time. And there is problems in learning the new software. So I don't think in the next 10 to 15 years it won't be a problem. So by the meantime, we will do more research and development, and we will strengthen the Office 360 to all the devices so that people don't switch, rather be attracted to our devices.
It seems like your strategy is to target the area or the parts of the world where smartphones are not proliferating, such as South Asia or parts of Europe. What about other parts of the world? You can't just focus on those and try to build up your customer base while neglecting the rest of the world where iPhones are thriving. So what are your strategy for those? What are your visions for those parts of the world?
Firstly, in the rest of the world, the office is a very crucial issue since they are also accustomed to Office. And another part, in those parts, they are much more accustomed to the fast life. They want integrated thing, not something different. So when we are bringing SkyDrive, Skype, all the Office programs and other Microsoft devices, including the emerging Nokia devices and under one platform, it makes their life easier. And you were talking about the other parts where making the life easy is more important than just cost. So when we are making life easier by bringing all their necessary devices and services under one platform, including cloud computing, this is how we are going to tackle with those issues.
In addition to that, we'd like to propose another option that Windows might be able to adapt. Is since people are already accustomed to Android, they are unlikely to switch, like especially in the developed parts of the world, they are unlikely to switch from Android. So what we'd offer, perhaps the research and development team, would be to come up with a programming language that will enable developers to make applications for Android as well as Microsoft Windows at the same time, using the same programming language. If they can come up with this, I think this issue will be solved, because the main concern is the problem with the ecosystem. right? Like applications, like people are not using Windows because there aren't enough softwares, and developers aren't creating softwares for Windows is because most of the people are using Android. So if they can come up with a programming language that will enable developers to create the same application for both of them at the same time, then this issue might be resolved and people might be more willing to switch towards Microsoft.
I think your question was why we're focusing on rural areas rather than the other developed parts of the world, right?
No, I understand why.
Oh.
Yeah, but I just thought, what about, seems that you're neglecting the rest of the world. And for a company to succeed and to lead and to be the leader again, you have to have a bigger picture. So I was just wondering where it's going. Once you conquer the rural area.
There's this saying that by trying to appeal to everybody, our product winds up appealing to nobody. Already the Western market is already flooded by the Android and the other makers, but the rural market is not captured by any other companies. So if Microsoft want to create a niche and be the leader of that market, it has to be the rural markets. That's what we are proposing. We are not saying that we are leaving those markets alone, but what we are saying that in the long run we'll also market it to those markets, but in the short run we have to focus in these rural markets,
Which are already untapped. So first
So we are not leaving away the pie that everybody is biting a pie. We're not leaving that. We're trying to fight on that. Apart from that, we are building a new pie for us, and we'll be the market leader there.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I have the perception that the whole thing is based on existing product or existing technology, which Microsoft has in hand. But we all know how important today innovation is, right? For you to be successful in this highly competitive market. But in your presentation, I really haven't seen a lot of emphasis on how are you going to promote innovation, or in a way coming up with new ideas on how to innovate the product or the services or even the whole organization. So would you like to share some of your thoughts on that area with us?
Yes, sir. Sir, one innovation we have shown that we can use the mobile phones as a second screen or for Xbox. So people are using Xbox in home, and I am traveling in the train, so I can play with my friend who is inside home and I am traveling. So this is a new thing which no one has yet come up with, and Windows is a company which Microsoft is a company which is whose distinctive competence is in software, right? So we are leveraging on software and creating such a networking platform which there is no boundary in sharing experience or playing with others. So I think this is an innovation we have shown.
Apart from that, the point he has raised in the session, the programming language, same programming platform for both of the Android and Microsoft devices. Since we have a problem in this case that app developers are not very much willing to develop app for Microsoft, since there is no much people there. So if we are trying to build up such a programming language that supports both Microsoft and Android platform, then the app developer will be more willing to do that. Whatever app they build, that can be compatible with both Android or Microsoft. This is another innovation control.
You mentioned about one of the immediate attractions is to provide a lot of complementary services, right, in terms of what Microsoft has to buyers. But I think it's Microsoft already obviously having pressure on in terms of the share price. It's not really going anywhere. And with the immediate offerings of a lot of these free services, where previously you might be charging for it, obviously it puts even more pressure, right, on the share price of the company, and obviously put pressure on the new CEO and the whole structure, right? So how are you going to tackle that?
So if you please repeat the question, the point.
Okay, what I understand is you're offering quite a lot of complementary services, right, which previously you may be charging in terms of fee or license fee or otherwise, but now you're offering it as a free service. So obviously it hits the bottom line of your company in terms of revenue. the company already is not doing too well in terms of the share price. And with a hit on your revenue and profit numbers, obviously it will be even more pressure on your share price, and obviously then on pressure on the CEO, further performing the company, improving the company's return to shareholders. So what do we do about that?
So firstly, I want to address this question with 2 points. First one, presently Microsoft is not selling software to the Android compatible devices. So when we're opening this horizon, there is a new revenue stream for us, and this is a new revenue stream. They must buy Office, almost business in business world Office domains. So when we're opening Android platform for Microsoft Offices, still we can sell the softwares there. There's the first point, and the second point is about we are addressing a totally new market, and powered by Nokia, we can now sell devices. So although yes, there is some decline in the Office is special for platform, but not like laptop. When we are purchasing laptops, we must buy it. We are not giving it complementary to those. Since in place of laptop or PC operating system, people most of times go for Microsoft, but the dilemma is in mobile phones. So in that case only, we are just confining our revenue. We are giving it free, but at that point we are opening another revenue stream, that is of Android compatibility. And apart from that, we are going to a new market, opening a new market. In this way, we are going to counteract the decline in profit by offering free.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the end of the Q&A session. So thank you, University of Dhaka, for your presentation, and you can take a seat or you can leave.
Before you go, can I just share something with you as a friendly advice? Next time, when you're using a PowerPoint or whatever presentation you're doing, don't lock the screen. When you stand in front of it, don't block it. Okay?
Extremely sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You were in a rush.
Yes, you're very flustered when you came in. Just bear that in mind next time.
Thank you very much.